Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options to Play video update. Uh, we are heading into it's the last full week of March, not the last actual week of March, but we are close to the next quarter earnings, but obviously not quite there yet. So kind of like a weird little pocket of the quarter where kind of like light on the schedule. There's a couple names here and there, but on a day-to-day basis, a little bit thinner. Could start to see some green shoots though when it comes to earnings because this past week there were definitely a few names that started to act a little better, respond a little better to earnings. So while kind of nice to see, definitely want to see it get a little bit more consistent, and then that could really set the tone nicely as the calendar shifts over to April and we get into the next like round of earnings. Right, so I'm definitely kind of focused on that. Um, so for this coming week, before the open on Monday, nothing scheduled. After the close of Monday, 10-cent Music TME, which is priced in about 4 points. Those are monthly options. Um, very tight pattern, just now breaking out. Acts better than just about every other Chinese tech company. Earnings haven't been a huge catalyst in recent quarters, but stock is acting great. Pattern's just starting to resolve. So I mean, if the numbers are good, and it can hold on to its gains. I mean, it definitely seems like something that could build. So even with the move above 30, I mean, the pent up move through where it was currently trading at could even be more significant. So um, earnings wise, maybe not so much a trade, but swing trade wise, maybe something to keep an eye on. Before they open on Tuesday, Huya, so another Chinese tech name. There's actually a few next week. About 3 points is what they're looking for here. I was messing around with this in February because it was heavily shorted. Around the time all those heavily shorted stocks were going. Stock has really come back down to earth though. Pattern doesn't seem too interesting. So I think I prefer just wait and see how the quarter goes. Because if it can get through 28, 29, then it gets interesting. But it's a long ways off from that. So and I think that would probably be like the level where I'd get involved again, or somewhere in that ballpark. So I guess I'd rather wait and see if it does get up there, and then I can jump in for a trade. After the close on Tuesday, kind of like the main event of the week, Adobe, big tech name, the price in about 23 points. Stock is hanging below its 200-day. It's also below monthly support. Um, so this is going to be an important quarter. Numbers have been solid for a while, but the reaction to earnings have been much smaller over recent quarters. Software stocks aren't acting great at the moment either, so kind of a tougher setup. Um, I guess to me it seems slightly more bearish, but I'm also not sure if I'm going to do anything with it just because it hasn't been that consistent in terms of movement recently. So kind of like a toss up to me. Uh, GameStop, on the other hand, this one should be entertaining. Pricing about 69 to 70 points. Came very close. I came very close to being involved right before these two moves happened. Unfortunately, closed options before like this gigantic run, just right before this gigantic run, and then missed reloading right before that gigantic run too. So a lot of missed opportunities. But I feel like now that it's up in the 200s again, already had like the second wave. Option pricing's a lot higher. Um, at the same time, 69 to 70, for a 1 day high, for a week, maybe not so much, right? Um, I really don't know what to expect earnings wise, and I'm not really even sure that earnings, like people really care so much about earnings at this point. It's like a totally different story. And what it's done in the past maybe might not matter. So this is like a true toss up. Like I mean, it could be a huge, huge mover, or it could be a really like kind of like a dud. I don't know what to make of it. I don't really have a read on it, but I mean, in terms of trading, it could be pretty wild. Wednesday before the open, General Mills. So about 325 is what's priced in. Those are monthly options. I'm not a huge fan of this chart, but I guess I'm interested more so because of my Kraft Times position. So just kind of curious to see what they have to say. Staples have been acting a little bit better. I'm not sure that earnings are going to move the needle a whole lot on General Mills, but maybe a good print from that helps KHC. So we look at KHC as a sympathy play, but they're not super, super correlated. After the close on Wednesday, Restoration Hardware. So another big price-in move here. About 58 to 60 points. So only kind of a little bit less than GME, but still pretty big. Um, Williams Sonoma just this past week crushed it. Restoration Hardware popped along with it, sitting right at its 52-week high after a pretty tight range for the past 2 to 3 months. There have been occasionally some very big moves on earnings on Restoration Hardware, but it's been a little bit less consistent recently. But it is a coiled pattern and looks to have some potential. So if I can get the option pricing down, maybe I'll look at something. Because laying out 60 on a stock like this, sitting right at its high, that has been a little bit less consistent. It's kind of tougher just in this tape. But it does seem like if the pricing does come down, or if I can get a strategy where I can get overall risk down, I might look at like some sort of volatility strategy. Thursday before the open, Darden. Not not my favorite restaurant stock to trade. They're pricing at 13.5 points. Those are monthly options. But this group has been acting pretty well as like a reopen play. And earnings haven't moved the needle a ton for them, but very steady uptrend, obviously, and that usually translates to lower volatility around earnings. So if earnings are decent, can stay in this uptrend, then it might be something where you could look at it for like a swing trade post results. Just but it really all revolves around the trend remaining intact because that basically defines the stock for the past like 7, 8, 9 months. Also Thursday before the open, Momo pricing in about $1.75. There's been some quarters in the past where this moved well. Option pricing is not too bad. Last quarter wasn't pretty though, so I think it would really need to deliver to get through like 17 and a half resistance because it's been kind of tough level on it. Um, I guess options maybe they leave enough room for a volatility strategy, right? They don't. Cause option pricing really doesn't seem too bad, and especially because they're reporting Thursday. If the option pricing comes down during the week, might be might be something to look at, but probably a game time decision for me. After the close on Thursday, again, so about 575 was our monthly options. Is what's priced in. Small cap gaming, casino play, and it's not for everybody. Chart looks okay though, and it seems like it could have like a pretty nice move and get up to 30 again. But it is coming off a weaker report in November, so I guess you got to be a little bit more cautious in terms of earnings. But could be a solid swing trade candidate, right? Numbers are good, gets above 30, 31 area. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that one. And then Sportsman's Warehouse also, but they're getting bought out, so no trade there. I mean, nothing to do. And then Friday before the open's nothing scheduled, so that's it. So a couple big names, but you can see like it kind of thins out on a day-to-day basis. So we'll see how this week plays out, and then if we start to see some good action again, that could really set the tone or change the tone for the next upcoming earnings season. All right. So if you like this video and you're looking for more information on trading earnings with options or swing trading with options, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options and play. Hope you have a wonderful night. Stay well, and I will talk to you all on Monday.